It's another day and I have another broken thing. So this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is a 2023 Super 73 S Adventure with 3,200 miles. I've had zero problems with this bike until now. I was riding this bike 2 days ago on a trail. After I was done riding, it wouldn't turn back on. Super weird. I have multiple Super 73 batteries, so the battery issue is out of the question because I swapped the batteries out, make sure that the battery wasn't bad. The bike will not turn on, will not move, won't do anything. The only thing this thing does is the battery will turn on, but nothing else will turn on, and we're gonna figure out why. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn on the battery. And normally just by clicking this button, a screen will pop up and it'll turn on. I have multiple of these bikes. I have a lot of Super 73s. I have another one right here. If you just turn on the battery button right there, look up on your screen, which is right here. Any second now, the screen will turn on like that and be ready to go. And then normally you can just hit your throttle and the bike will move. This battery is still on, but the screen is still off and nothing will move. So we're gonna figure that out. Okay, so let's go ahead and take the battery off. You get your key. It's a Super 73 key, comes with the battery. There we go, twist it, drop it, boom. Pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. And then with this battery, I'm gonna just put it off to the side because you don't want the battery on the bike just in case you get electrocuted. Unfortunately, I have a middle rack right here. This is gonna have to come off because the controller where I'm gonna be looking at. So let me back up real quick. So all electric things, for most electric things, have a battery, a controller, and a motor, and the throttle system. This is the throttle, it's the thumb throttle, and it goes down through the bike to a computer, which is here, that tells the battery what to do to the motor, or tells the controller basically says to the motor what to do. Some e-bikes can reverse, some have different power modes, some go forward, well, all e-bikes go forward. But the computer is basically what it tells the bike what to do, and it's called the controller. This goes for Surons, E-Ride Pros, most electric bikes or scooters or anything, go-karts, drift carts, all the fun electric stuff. We're gonna take a look at the controller because the controller is the heart of the operation. People think it's the battery. I mean, the battery, okay, I guess the battery is the heart. The controller is the brain because the battery gives it the power, the heart gives you power, and then the brain tells you know, what the bike to do. So we're gonna look at the controller because the battery is fine. And to access the controller, since it's under the seat, if you do have a middle rack, I would recommend taking it out. It's a little easier to access the controller. I mean, the controller is right here. You know, it just saves you some time, just a couple bolts. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this bracket right here. And there we go. I removed the middle rack and I put some of the bolts back in so I don't have to keep them on the table and I won't lose them. And here's the middle rack. Most people don't have this, but I do because I have, well, this is my trail bike. I have extra parts, extra tools, ropes. The other day I had to pull my friend back like 20 miles on a different bike because his bike died in the middle of the woods and it's better than pedaling out, right? So I pull him out with ropes and bring him back to his house. So this is why I have like a mini rack in the middle. And sometimes I have a back rack full of more tools for the trail rides. So this right here, this weird clump of plastic and zip ties is where the controller is, right up and underneath there. So we gotta take those zip ties off and expose the controller. So that was pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory, just one zip tie cut. I exposed the controller. Let's get a close-up view right there of, so that's some of the wires right there. And let me turn the gimbal. That's the controller right there, this box right here. It's kind of hard to get the camera in there, but if you see that big rectangle, this right here, all right here, that's the controller right there. And I gotta look at it to see how to take it out. I've done these before, but it's been a while, so let me take a look and I'll show you guys how to remove it. Okay, I was just thinking, I'm gonna buy the new controller. I actually just bought it. It's gonna be here in like a week or two. And I'm gonna continue the video in the next clip from 2 weeks from now. And we're gonna finish off changing the controller and hoping it solves that problem. If it doesn't, we're gonna still figure it out. So right now we're just waiting for parts because the reason why I don't want to take the controller out right now, because I don't want to take it out and forget how to put it back in. So we're just gonna swap each individual wire over to the new controller when I get it. and mount the new one in. That's the smart way and safe way of playing it. So for now, we're gonna wait, and I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. It's been about 4 days, and I got the parts. Let's resume where we took off. So it's been about 4 days, but I just got the controller actually in my hand. I can't really see it when it's up in the bike. And I realized that the controller is mounted to the bike from the top down. And in order to remove the controller and put the new one in, I have to take the seat off, which isn't too hard. So let's get to work on removing the seat. Here we go. I look under the seat to see how many bolts are holding down the seat. I realize that there's 1 bolt in the front and 2 in the back. So I get my Allen wrench and I try taking the bolts out, but then the bolts are too tight on there. So I get myself a ratchet and I put an extension on it, and then it comes out no problem. And the seat just slides right off with 2 clips, and there we go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got the seat off the Super 73. It was not too bad. And now the frame is exposed so we can get the controller out. And now I'm taking the controller off. And the only thing holding the controller on the bike is 4 Allen key bolts, and all you have to do is loosen all 4 bolts and drop the controller down. And now I'm on to the next step. My goal here is to expose all of the wires. And to do that, I have to cut all the zip ties holding the wires together and stretch out all the wires so I can see where everything plugs into. Okay, so the controller is down, so now we're gonna start swapping the old wires with the new wires just by unplugging each individual wire from the controller and plugging them into the new controller. So you guys just heard what I said. I am unplugging every wire from the bike to the controller and swapping them over to the new controller so the bike can hopefully work. This is a very easy but tedious process because every single wire is very tight on there. And I ran into some issues where some of the prongs are bent, so I went and got some needle nose pliers and bent the prongs so they perfectly aligned. And there we go, the new controller is on, and I'm just squeezing the controller back to where it's supposed to be. And now I'm doing the exact opposite of what I was doing before. I'm putting those 4 bolts I took out earlier and just putting them back on the controller and perfectly aligning them. Okay, so the controller is back on the bike. I didn't do any of the cable management yet, like none of the zip ties and stuff, because I want to put the battery on the bike to make sure it turns on. And hopefully it does, because if it doesn't, then it's a completely different problem and it's going to take a lot longer. Okay, this is the moment of truth. I hate turning on e-bikes for the first time after working on them. And it works. The screen is on. You ready? The bike officially works. If you look right here, you can see that the screen is on and the bike is working. I am glad that it was just a controller because it would be a lot more work if it wasn't. And now I'm taking out the battery again. I'm getting zip ties because I'm gonna need those to tie the wires back together. And now I'm slowly putting the wires back to where they were and zip tying them back to the frame. And now I'm pushing back the controller cover. And I'm starting to put the seat back on by putting the 2 clips back in the seat and installing the 3 bolts. And since the bolts are back on, now I'm just getting the wires situated so I can put the controller cover back on. But I realized that the controller cover is not really fitting back to OEM, so I have to make some adjustments. There we go, the adjustments work, and now it looks back to normal. And now I'm installing the rack that holds the 2 bags in the middle of the bike. The reason why I have this rack is because this is my off-road bike. I keep my tools in there just in case they ever break down or if any of my friends break down. There's only 2 bolts holding this rack on because this rack is actually not meant for this bike. This is meant for a totally different Super 73, and I just made it work on this bike. And now the bike is pretty much complete. But there's still one last problem. The brake lever is broken that holds the horn onto the brake. So I unbox a new horn mount and get ready to install it. Okay, we're gonna see if everything that I did today works. Let's turn on the bike for the 2nd time ever. Will the screen turn on? There we go. What I like to see. The screen is on. Bike's working. Hit the throttle, lift it up off the ground. It works how it should. My brakes are swapped on this, so this brake right here is my front brake, and this is my back brake. Stock, this bike comes, this is the back brake, and this is the front brake, but I swapped the brakes. A little bit easier to throttle with one hand and brake with another. We're talking about braking. Let's see if the horn works. Hey, there we go, it works. And it wasn't that it wasn't working before, it was this piece was broken and the brake lever was moving around. But we officially, or I officially, finished the bike. Thank you guys for watching this YouTube video. If you have any questions about how I changed this controller, please comment them down below. It's pretty self-explanatory. All the wires, plug in only one way and one way only. Yeah, it really solved the issue of this bike not turning on. And now the bike is 100% fixed. This bike had 3,600 miles on it, so I guess the controllers go around there. But it's kind of weird. I had 22,000 miles on my other Super 73, went at 22,000, like the controller. And then I have another 3,000 miles on it right now, and it's still fine. The only thing that bike has for a problem is a wire harness problem. It's like the wires that run on the side of the bike. The bike got in a crash and it like gouged in the pavement. So sometimes the bike takes off by itself. Self-explanatory fix, but hard to fix because the wires run through the tube of the bike. So that's gonna be a fun one to fix. And second I stop filming this video, I have to work on my E-Ride Pro. It has an error code saying there's low voltage. So yeah, these bikes always have maintenance on them, but like that is with everything in life. These are definitely way less maintenance than my gas bikes. No oil changes, no nothing. Well, only oil that you change is the brake oil. It's mineral oil for this bike, and some other bikes are like .3 or something. So thank you guys for watching this YouTube video. Stay tuned for more videos like this, and hit that subscribe button.